what I love about Pioneer Women's Hut is it's focusing on the little person, the normal history of women, rural women. It focuses, at the very onset back in 1985 when it was sort of established, they came up with a really good collection policy where they were going to focus on rural women, mostly in regional rural areas, and they were, as they're collecting, they're trying to also collect the stories behind what we have. So we're just not a collection of things, we're a collection of stories and the women behind that. I think in the early 90s, the women of the volunteers of the Women's Hut established the first national quilt register, which has only just been started back up again. Now the quilt register is where women or families that have heritage quilts in their possession don't have to donate it to a museum, they can keep it at home, but we've got a record of it, we've got photos of it, and so that researchers can approach the people with those quilts. And we also have a wonderful quilt. Part of our museum is a quilt hut here where you can come and see heritage quilts, and it's not a regional museum, it's a national museum, so we've got quilts from all over Australia. I think we've even got quilts from Canada that have a connection to Australia. So we've got sewn quilts, we've got quilts made out of furs. It's really cool. Well, I think that the women's history, especially in the bush, is really important because it's such a forgotten history. But what's the most amazing thing about this museum, I find, is when I have been here and there's visitors coming, is that everybody gets choked up because they remember their mum and their grandma or their family having this stuff, and it touches everyone. It's not big and grand, it might not be stuff from the Powerhouse Museum or the National Museum, but it's stuff that people can relate to, and ultimately that's, I think, what history is really about. It's the personal connection to our past.